My name is Eunice Palacios Ramirez. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist here in San Diego. And I'm going to be talking to you today about how our teens are experiencing this pandemic. Um, from 6 to 6:30, I'm going to go through the presentation. And then from 6:30 to 6:50, I can take questions. Then we'll have a break and I will do the same presentation in Spanish. Um, the objectives of this presentation is that we really take the time to stop, to pause, and to reflect on how are we living this historic moment and how our teenagers are dealing during this time with the school and with everything that is going on. I'm going to talk also about how depression and anxiety looks like in teenagers, about the importance on emotional attunement and co-regulation, and strategies to be successful during distance learning. And then at the end, I will take questions and comments. Can everyone hear me well? Everything okay? Yeah? Okay. Um, all right. Let me hide this view. Okay. Um, I believe the opportunity of being together in Zoom, it's also an opportunity to create community. We are going through a hard time. The number of COVID cases are going higher. We have the transition to a new president. We have a lot going on. We have many events last week, very distressing events in our country. And I believe all of this could be taken as a traumatic moment that we are living. However, I think that when trauma is lived alone is worst, and when trauma is supported, lived in community, it's a little bit easier. So my objective is also that we can create community, and my hope will be that after this presentation, like all of you connect with each other, that we can build knowledge together. Knowledge is co-constructed, and that we take the time to honor and pause and realize what are we going through right now. So I know it's a difficult time. It's 6 p.m. Maybe you're in the middle of dinner. I really appreciate that you are taking the time to do this. Just take these 30 minutes to pause and reflect. As I say, let's just stop for a minute. Let's pause and let's just think about how your life has changed since May. How is it being an adult during this time? How is it being a parent during COVID-19 times? What have you lost? What do you miss? How do you feel? So I want you to pause for a moment, go into yourself, and just notice. Notice all this. What have you lost? What do you miss? How is it being a parent during this pandemic? And just honor the magnitude of this moment. I'm asking you to tune into your emotions. Like if you recall like those radios that you have to tune into the station and move it so that you could listen to the station clearly. I'm asking you to do that with your emotions. Tune into your emotions and just notice, are you more stressed? Can you sleep the same as before? Can you concentrate at work or at home? Are you worried about getting COVID-19 or you have COVID-19? Are you concerned about your health or potential risk? Are you eating more? Are you eating less? Are you enjoying life as before? Are you angry? Are you frustrated? Are you hopeful? Just take this time to reflect what is going on with you internally. And my guess is that you might be anxious, you might be worried, you might be stressed, you might be sad, maybe even depressed. And I think collectively, we are in grief. We are missing the things that we had before. Life was before COVID and after
Right
COVID.
here. We should have to take a picture.
Maybe we are frustrated
Come on,
about this
take a
whole
picture. Turn on the
situation.
light.
So if someone has your microphones on, please mute them. Yeah. Um, and this is key because all these reactions tell something about what you hold precious in life. These reactions say something about what is important for you. That maybe life is important for you, family, providing for your family, that your friendships, your community is important to you, that all those plans that you have and all those future goals you had for yourself, for your family, that is something that is important and precious to you. And that this virus came and that now we are in grief collectively and life is not as before and we cannot have relationships in community as we had before and maybe we cannot see our family as before. um, Life is not as it was before. So just notice this because this tells a lot about what is important to you. I'm asking you to go into your own emotions because in order to understand what is going on with your teen, you have to be attuned to your own emotions, right? The first step is going into you to later then connect to your teen. And sometimes it's just pausing while you're cooking dinner and just like taking a breath and say, how am I internally feeling? What am I holding into? Why am I stressed? Like if you cannot sleep, it's just pausing, noticing, like mindfulness. So now that you're attuned to your emotions, let's see what is going on with your teen. My guess is that your teen is probably overwhelmed with distance learning, anxious, worried. That the things that you're seeing is that they are bored at home, they are frustrated, they are missing their friends, maybe they're complaining more than usual, maybe they are eating too much or not eating at all. They have difficulty maybe concentrating, they are isolating, um, they might be angry, rebellious. And you're seeing here what is at the top of the iceberg. You know, like your teen giving you attitude or being isolated, being frustrated, being anxious. What I want to see is, and I invite you to see, is what is underneath the water. What is really going on here? What is below the water? And for this, I want to talk about mental health because a lot of these behaviors could be related with the grief that we are all having collectively, but also with mental health, right? Depression in a minor, in a teen, or in a child doesn't necessarily looks like I'm crying, I have low energy, I'm fatigued. It can look like that. Like they don't have the strength to get out of the bed. Like as silly as that sounds, sometimes depression, like a major depression, looks like that. But it can also look like irritability. Irritability is a telltale sign of depression. And I think looking at all the losses that we have had this year, I think our teens have genuine reasons to be sad, to be depressed, and to be irritable. If you maybe are seeing that your child is really concerned about school, concerned about grades, concerned about not logging into class at time, concerned about all the homework that they have, more concerned than usual, that they are not able to sleep well, that they get scared easily, that they think in the worst possible scenario, well, that's a sign of anxiety, right? And this virus and everything that is happening, like it can be very anxiety provoking. Uh, this virus is like being scared of something that we cannot see, but that we know is there. Our teens have also genuine reasons to feel anxious. Crying spells, it can also be a sign. of depression and of anxiety, just feel like crying out of the sudden. And sometimes with minors, and I hear this often in private practice, like my stomach hurts, my head hurts, like I have diarrhea, or I have migraines, like, and as a practitioner that I'm trained in brain spotting, that is kind of therapy that looks into the experiences in your body and in your brain. The body can tell you about what is hurting emotionally, and sometimes minors don't have the words to say, um, mom, I'm concerned about my grades because it's difficult to getting used to distance learning. I feel overwhelmed, and um, this is why I'm feeling uneasy. No, they sometimes they don't have that language. They just have somatic symptoms, or you just see them worrying, scared, not being able to sleep, not being able to concentrate, or even concentrate on a small task. That's also a sign that could be a sign of depression, of anxiety. Suicidality, of course, thinking about like ending their life, life is not worth, things like that. But I think overall, I think what I will suggest is underwater is a lot of grief. And just think about yourself, like, and all this grief that you are holding, and that might look as I'm anxious, I'm worried, I'm stressed, I'm depressed, I'm frustrated. Well, it's not different when you're teens. The difference is that as adults, sometimes we have more the language of say, I'm anxious, I'm worried about what will happen with my job, if with COVID we're going to close the company where I work. I'm worried. And as adults, we have more strategies to deal with all these emotions. But minors, teens, children, sometimes they don't have the strategies to deal with these emotions, so it can be very overwhelming for them.